Let us start. Let us start right at the top. Now, this is an interesting take that Propo and I were chatting about, and I'd love to get your perspective on it, Jay Bell. I want to go straight off the bat to Travis Kelce, the great Travis Kelce, who reminded us why he is one of the all-time greats in the all through the playoffs, frankly, but particularly in the championship game. Taking that mantle from the brilliant Jerry Rice in terms of all-time playoff receptions. Rice, by the way, still has 22 playoff touchdowns. We've got to add that fundamental for the GOAT Jerry Rice. So here's our question for you, straight off the bat, Jay Bell. Is Travis Kelce the most dangerous playoff weapon in history? Is Travis Kelce the most dangerous playoff weapon in history? Where do you stand on Kelce being the playoff GOAT?
I have to say no, because I grew up in the Jerry Rice era. Jerry Rice, Montana, Steve Young. I think about that. I think about Michael Irvin. I think about Emmitt Smith. So it's hard for me to say that because Travis Kelce's still playing. And I'm the kind of guy who likes to look at the career as the entirety of the career. And at the end, look at it like that. You think about what Gronk did and Tom Brady and the moments they had, right? I mean, those drives in the fourth quarter when they went empty formation and he just Gronk, Edelman, Gronk, Wes Welker, that kind of stuff. So what he's doing is amazing, and we're going to look at it at the end, and we might have that conversation. But right now, I'm looking at those other guys, and there's a bigger spotlight on them for me, and it might just be my era, Nat, to be honest.
No, hey, we're the same era, man, and I hear you, and it's easy to do that, right? We always fall into recency bias in lots of different ways, but it's a great reference points like Gronk. These are all players that get it done in the clutch, and that's obviously the definition of an effective player in the playoffs. But it feels that even within that mechanic, we've talked a lot about Eli doing this, of course. Gronk took care of that. Kelce, I mean, very much in that championship game. Let me parlay that into the weapons around Mahomes, right? Because one of the narratives all season long I've been feeling is that despite the lack of fluency that we've been seeing with this Chiefs side, and for most of the season, I don't think anybody really thought, despite the great Mahomes and Andy Reid, that they were going to get this deep.
Right.
It's all come together in the playoffs, but it's still very much Pacheco, Kelce, and Rice. Yeah, that's that trifecta. Can they beat the 49ers with just those three stepping up, or do they need the Valdez-Scantlings, the McCall Hardmans, the second-tier crew to contribute a little bit more than they have been? And I know Valdez-Scantling got that big catch to ice the game in the championship, but you know where I'm going with it. Can they beat them with just those three weapons?
Yes, and I'm glad you mentioned the other guys because you just need a play from them. You need them to come through. MVS with a big catch, right? They stuck with him. And you think about all those drops he had this year. Would you take all those drops for that catch? Yes, you would.
Right.
Because it got you in the Super Bowl. What you need is 3 targets. You need 3 offensive weapons because it's very easy to take 2 away, right? Purely by a numbers game. But if you got 3, and especially if one of those is a running back you can lean on, that's a tone setter. This formula works. They have become a precision passing team. They have become a West Coast passing offense. And with that, you have a tight end that can find space, Rashid Rice, where his ability to develop as a rookie and find space in zone coverage is why you see him stepping up. You got to know when to stop, when to slow down, how Patrick sees the game. Well, he's starting to see it that way. You need one of the other guys to make a play, maybe 2, when the defense says, all right, we're enough of this. We're going to take away these 2 guys. Somebody's got to come up with a one-on-one matchup. Those guys can do it. The formula they have works. What makes them scary is they're playing their best football at this moment. I don't care what you did all season. You need to be at your best now, health-wise, from a strategy standpoint, and execution, and they are.
Okay, I'm with you on that, and I'm really, really fascinated to see whether, my take on Kadarius Toney being Super Bowl MVP. I still believe in it. I still believe in that.
What if they suit him up in the Super Bowl and he comes through, Nat? Are we going to lose our mind?
I can see it, man. You know what? I'm still hanging my hat on it. I will I will love it if Kadarius Toney goes big, 145 yards,
Man,
2 touchdowns.
that'll be Andy Reid classic. Like,
Yeah.
no one will question any decision he ever makes.
J Bell, first play of the Super Bowl, Mahomes goes 77 yards to Kadarius Toney. Lock it in.
Get out of here. Get out of here.
It'll be like Peyton's onside kick for craziness. Okay.
I love it, though. I love it.
I'm all in on Tony, all in on him. Okay. This is an interesting one, right? So I and Mike kind of got into this vibe on Monday's show a little bit, and it got me and Propo talking, and let's see what J Bell thinks about it. Mike was pushing the Mahomes as an effective game manager in the championship game, right? And of course, this is the tag that everybody applies to Brock Purdy, and it's damning with faint praise at times, right? The game manager is a double-edged sword. Is there an argument to say that throughout the playoffs, Mahomes has been just as much of a game manager as Brock Purdy?
You can say that if you think of a game manager as a negative connotation. Let me back this up. Let me break this down. I want a game manager because we spend all time getting all this information, putting all these plays together, sequencing them, and trying to make it efficient and effective, right? I need you to manage that. What makes you a momentum shifter is taking over the game as far as management is concerned. When you need to, when you have to make a big play. And that's what Patrick Mahomes does. Yeah, manage it. Do everything I want you to do. But in the fourth quarter, when I need to play, you got to make it happen. That's orthodox throws happens. That's when he just takes over. Playmaker. And a playmaker he doesn't make a play every down. He just doesn't go out there and just roll the football out and say, I'm going to make a play happen. No, he makes it in a moment where the management breaks down.
Right.
He's thinking on the fly. He's orchestrating in the now when nothing else matters, when a coach can't talk to you, when a scheme can't help you, when the situation is against you, you make it right. Now, 5 of those games to make you a Hall of Famer. Just 5.
Yeah.
Two of those we're talking about. These are the 2 plays. Brock Purdy just showed us in that championship game that he can do it with the big runs, with the big throw. That's what you want. So yes, you want to be a game manager because we are trying to manage this game. That is the key. That's why we practice.